Hello friends. So I just got done weeding that bed right there, and I mentioned on my last video that I wanted to transplant these strawberries over there into that bed right there. And so I've just gotten done weeding and I'm going to water it. It's so hot and dry here. We have to water, make sure that the water or the soil is moist, damp. So as you can see, this is just like powder. It's dry. And if you put water in it, it puddles up and it looks like it's you've got a lot of water in there, but it just sits on the top. And it makes a sort of a scab or a skin in the soil surface. And so what I do, as you can see, I've raked up borders along the edges and to divide up the middle of the bed. That way I can put water in here, fill it up to the level of the border here and allow it to soak in. I make borders around the edges because if I try to fill up the bed with water without those soil borders, the water travels to the edge where the wood is and it goes down. It doesn't soak in over here in the middle. So the soil, when it's dry like this, it's called hydrophobic. It doesn't like the water. It repels the water. The water will bead up and it won't soak in. So let me just show you. I'm going to spray some water in here. So you can see that soil right there. Even though I sprayed it with water, it's dry underneath. Right there, look at that. That's dry right there. The water's beading up right next to it. Look at all that dry dirt, dry soil. So we let this kind of soak in a little bit. Look at the dry dirt. Some areas are drier than others. Look at that. Very dry. So you can't just give it a light sprinkling like that and think that you've got good, moist, damp soil. You have to water it and let it soak in, and water it and let it soak in, and water it and let it soak in. Even these edges that look pretty wet, are really dry. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. I can't put the strawberries in until this is soaked, until the water has soaked down pretty far, way far, like a foot. Look at this, look at the water accumulating here. Looks like, oh my gosh, you must have a lot of water in there. It's dry. See, what it does is the water combines with the soil and it makes like a scab on top. It makes a skin, but underneath it's still dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and water this some more, and I'll let you know how long it takes. So I've filled these areas up 4 times now, and I'm just gonna let it soak and come back in a little while and check it. Okay, this has sat most of the afternoon. Let's say 3 hours, maybe 2 hours. I guess 2 hours. Let's check and see if the moisture has gotten down there. So let's look at, that's how big the shovel is. Okay, that looks good. Oh, there's one little dry spot there. Let's check over here. No, that's good. Okay, let's move over here. This looks very wet. It looks very wet. Oh, I guess that's, let's try again. It's damp. Look at those. Oh, that's a worm. We'll leave that in. That looks pretty good. Let's check over here. That's just that lighter color stuff is clay. That's the native soil. And I've mixed it with, you know, various commercial mixes. Several years ago, I filled my beds with organic garden soil from North End Organic Nursery, and you know, now I just top it off every year if it seems like I need it. That's damp. There was a worm right there. That's good. Okay, that's damp. That's good. good. So last year, this is where I had some peppers. My peppers did really, really well. It's damp. Okay, that looks pretty good. The one thing that doesn't look so good is right over there. See that? Next to that side, that's still dry. So let's see how far it goes. Look at that, dry, dry. Dry. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and let's get that stick out of there. I'm going to go ahead and get the strawberries transplanted, but I don't have any illusions as to whether this soil is completely wet, because we can see that it isn't completely wet. That's dry. But this area out here in the middle is definitely damp. There's moisture. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the strawberries transplanted, and then I'll give it another good soaking, and that should be enough. Because I just want to make sure that there's plenty of moisture down in the root zone for the strawberries. And I think there is, but I'm going to have to keep on top of it to make sure that, you know, this dry stuff gets moist. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. See you next time. Oh my gosh, you guys, what are the odds? The odds that I get 2 horrible pests in one shot. You see that snail? That snail is not even native to Idaho. That thing came in on some sort of horticultural, oh hi kitty. That snail came in on some sort of horticultural plant or somebody's house plant that they moved here. Yeah. And those ants, well, I don't know. They're probably native to Idaho, but they're horrible. They could be worse. It could be worse. They could be fire ants. But anyway, don't look.